You're up,
Hi,
Kimberly.
my name is Kimberly. Do I talk now?
Go ahead and give us, what's your story about today, Kimberly?
Hi, I'm Kimberly. Say why Dinosaurs was one of the most subversive sitcoms of the 90s.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm going to give you the comic book origin of the Dinobots.
Oh, wow.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I'm going to tell you about the tragedy of the blue egg of Mongolia.
Is that a fact, Charlie? Because we're going to find out what all of these stories have to do with dinosaurs in this episode of History Bluffs. Welcome to another episode of History Bluffs. It's where truth is stranger than fiction. And now welcome to the show. It is your host. It's Adri. No, that's Kimberly in the big box. Let's get Adri in the big box.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Hello, everybody at home. My name is Adri, and welcome to History Bluffs. We're so excited to have you today. It's a very special day. It's Dinosaur Day, isn't it, Adam?
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, it is Dinosaur Day, depending on which internet calendar you choose.
That's right. Depends on where you look it up on the internet. Today is Dinosaur Day, so we are celebrating all things dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Before we get into the whole game and everything that we've got going on, I just want to let you guys know you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. We have a lot of really great things going on right now, including a live show this Friday at the Breakthrough Theater in Winter Park, Florida.
Yes, we do.
If you're in town, if you're looking for something to do, please come out and check us out. It's $12 to see the show, and it's going to be awesome. We're talking about tropical.
Yes, we are. And it's an all-ages show. Children are welcome.
Yes, safe for the little ears.
Yeah.
So yeah, we hope that we can see some of our fans out there, get to know you guys, and have a really great night together. Before we get into the rules, let's meet our historians. We've got Alan, Kimberly, Charlie. How are you guys feeling tonight?
Good.
Good.
Everybody's good? All right.
Mhm.
Well, to get to know
Solid.
you guys, I wanted to ask you just a quick question or two. Kimberly, let's start with you. I would like to know what your favorite quote from Jurassic Park is.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a quote, but it's when that one dinosaur all over the Alan Grant, just the sneeze. The sneeze is my quote.
Ah, okay. The Bronchiosaurus, I think that was. When they're up in the tree.
I think so.
Bronchial.
It was like, yeah, Bronchiosaurus.
I
Yeah,
think it was a
The sneeze.
Flemodon.
Yes.
was a
Charlie,
sting.
a question for you. If you had to describe your relationship with dinosaurs in 3 words or less, what 3 words would you choose?
That's a good question. In love with.
In love with dinosaurs. Very nice.
Aw.
And my final question is going to be for Alan. As of May 2024, which is right now, how many species of dinosaurs were there? How many species have been identified?
Wow.
Ballpark figure will be fine.
Species of dinosaurs.
Good luck, Alan.
58.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
Thousand?
wrong? Shocked.
a little bit
I'm
off.
so shocked.
A little bit off. It's actually 900 dinosaurs.
Wow.
900. That's right.
That's a lot of dinos.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's quite a lot.
All from the bones.
Good thing there was a Big Bang because it'd be kind of crowded with dinosaurs and 7 billion humans.
I'll tell you what. Well, they wouldn't have gone hungry, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. All right. So now we've got to know our historians for the evening. We know our topic. So why don't we look at the rules, Adam?
Let's do it. This is a game show, folks. It's a game show about history. There's some rules to show, so if you can't see them because you're listening on our audio podcast, Adri's going to tell you the rules.
Absolutely. Today, historians are inspired by the topic, which we've already covered, is dinosaurs. These stories are going to be true and factual. However, one of our historians is going to be bluffing, and their story is fictional. It can be based off of something that's true, that happened during a time period that actually happened, but the core of the subject or the core of the story is going to be a bluff. No audience help is allowed, but audience participation is encouraged. Please message us on YouTube or Twitch. We'll get your comments on the screen. One very important topic to discuss here: no using Google or your Britannica encyclopedias. Please leave those where they are and just enjoy the show. Now, before we get started, we have a couple other things to cover. Each round is going to have a different, there's 3 rounds today. And what we're going to do to track each round is the round tracker 9000, which should appear here momentarily. There it is. Wow. Look at that. Each round has 3 circles. Each circle represents a historian's moment to tell their story. The first round is 75 seconds. The second round is 60 seconds. And the third round is 45 seconds. I know.
That's short. That's not a lot of time.
Ante. It's not a lot of time. And a lot of time, the historians lose their breath telling it. So with that being said, historians, are we ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. Adam, on your go.
All right, we'll put Alan up in the first box. He is contestant number 1. Alan, you get the boom, and you'll have your 75 seconds. Here it comes.
Okay, well, if you're a fan of the Transformers, you're probably familiar with the Dinobots. Now, if you watch the cartoon, it's got a different origin than is found in the comic book, and I'll briefly tell you about the cartoon origin if you weren't familiar with the G1 origin of the cartoon. The Autobots were in a ship that had crash landed in the side of a volcano, and somewhere buried in that volcano were bones of dinosaurs, and they used that as inspiration to create new Autobot allies, the Dinobots. That's the cartoon origin. In the comic book, it's a little bit different. See, the spaceship that the Autobots and Decepticons were on did crash land on Earth in 4 million years prior to modern times. And that happened both in the comic book and in the cartoon. But what differs in the comic book is the way the dinosaurs, the Dinobots, were created was that back 4 million years ago, Shockwave, the Decepticon, followed the Autobots and Decepticons and crash landed on the Antarctic. And there he fought dinosaurs in prehistoric Earth. And then that led to the Dinobots pursuing him in ancient history.
Wow. Definitely a lot of information there between Dinobots and dinosaurs and Autobots and Stegosaurs. I don't know. Kimberly, what do you say about Alan's first round?
I lost in general when it comes to like TV show lore versus the book versus the comic versus whatever. And I say this in a very complimentary way. Alan is such a nerd. He is such a detail nerd that there's a lot of this that sounds very accurate. I have there you go. I'm not familiar with it. It sounds legit. It also seems very close to Transformers though, with some of the names and stuff though, so I don't know. I think so far so good.
Alan, do you want to clarify? Because I think it is Transformers, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is Transformers.
Okay.
Transformers, the cartoon, Transformers, the comic book, and the comic book was published by Marvel Comics, so I will get into that in round 2.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Charlie, do you have anything you want to add on Alan's round 1?
Well, my prime question would be that I thought the Dinobots were Decepticons at first, and then they were like brought over to the Autobots. But maybe I'm wrong.
Wow.
No.
Well, maybe
But
he'll get to that in round 2.
there was an episode where the Decepticons convinced them to turn on the Autobots, so maybe that's where you're getting confused.
Maybe.
Short answer, no.
Short answer, no.
All right, Kimberly, let's get you to the center.
All right.
And we're going to do a round 1 for you. Adam, when you're ready.
All right, here comes when they hear the boom and see the sundial. You have 75 seconds.
So the show Dinosaurs premiered in 1991 on ABC. Jim Henson came up with the show in like the late 80s, and he wanted a family of dinosaurs, and it was considered like a crazy idea at the time until The Simpsons was super successful, and so they said, yep, okie dokie, go on with dinosaurs. It was one of Henson's last projects. Now, it was set in Pangaea at about 60 million BC, and it was focused on a family of 4, my mom, a dad, and the kids, and baby, who kind of came the breakout dinosaur star of it, all the animatronic puppets. Now, even starting here with the name of the family, the Sinclair family, that was the name of a petroleum company, which already has an environmental thing anyway. You had Sinclair Oil. You had the name Hess, Ethel. The evil boss was even named BP Richfield, which was 2 oil companies. So they were just not even pulling punches on that. Now, most people remember the baby Sinclair and the catchphrase and all the sitcomies, mama, but there were some also pretty rad subversive stuff in there, like consumerism and government blaming problems on other races, sexual harassment, cultural appropriation, and it fits very specifically into the 90s and 2024. We'll get into that more in a minute.
Wow. I remember being very young watching that show on TGIF, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a fat little chubby dinosaur in a baby food feeder thing.
Yeah,
So-
Not the mama. Not the mama.
Not that mama. Alan, what do you think about Kimberly's round 1 story?
It all adds up so far. I don't remember all the names. I think that if someone on that show was named Hess, I think that's fantastic. I do think that there was an Ethel, and possibly the boss was named BP. Great references, which I wouldn't put past the Henson team for doing that. And yes, I do think this started in the early 90s, which would follow the debut of the Simpsons series, which was Christmas time of '89.
Late 80s,
So, so yeah, so far so good.
All right. And Charlie, you have any
Well,
thoughts?
I agree with Kimberly. Alan is a nerd. Oh wait, no, that was last one. I just, yeah, no, it sounds. I remember the show too. I enjoyed it a lot. It was, TGIF, so great. Well, so far it sounds good.
All right.
I remember the Sinclair logo for the gas station, and they always had, like, you can sometimes find old giant green, like, brontosaurus-y type things that they had as part of their thing. So those go in the like estate sales and the antique world. You can pick up some of those sometimes.
Oh,
And they're
wow.
kinda-
Do they have a high value?
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially if they
nice.
look
Oh,
good.
this is collector stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I know what to start looking for. Awesome.
How
Thank
about
you.
that?
Thank you.
Oh, Darren chimed in the comments section, if anyone
Oh,
noticed.
that's true. I did
He was
notice.
responding to my story.
He sure was. According
Yeah.
to our audience in the internet, Darren says, I've been to the Antarctic. I did not see any dinosaurs. That's a comment on Alan's story. So, Alan, you've
I'll
got
address
eyewitness
that later.
testimony. Yeah, okay.
I'll address that later.
So far, the audience is calling you out with eyewitness testimony. So we'll see how that plays. But here we are, Adri. We've got one more, don't we?
That's right. Yeah. If you look at the Round Tracker 9000, we have one space that is not illuminated yet. That is reserved for Charlie. Charlie, won't you come into the center now? Excellent. And when you hear the boom, you're going to have 75 seconds on Adam's Go.
The floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the blue egg of Mongolia, which is a dinosaur egg that was found in Mongolia in the 17th century. And it was next to a nest of fossilized baby Proceratops. Okay, it became one of the most famous, well, maybe not to you, but like during its time, it was a very famous fossil that made its way around the world. It was owned by many people, but a lot of those people, it is said, ended up being cursed by this egg. In 1911, the New York Times published an article of all the cases of the owner of that egg and the fortunes and how they turned bad, often in a deadly manner. I'm just going to run through a list of horrible things that happened to people. Jacques Colette sold the egg to Dimon Frankel, and then that person committed suicide. Prince Ivan Kastovich bought it from Colette and was killed by Russian revolutionists. And my time is almost up.
All
That is
right. That egg does not sound tasty. Alan, what are your thoughts on Charlie's round 1 story?
It's the blue egg of Mongolia. You said
Or
it's
Magnolia.
Or Magnolia. It belonged to a Proceratops. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Proceratops. I've never heard of the Proceratops, but we have proven at the top of the show, I don't know how many species of dinosaurs there were. So what do
That's
I
true.
know?
1 in
do I know?
900 chance that is a real dinosaur.
Alan's more familiar with the consumer Triceratops. So, no. I see, I ruined my own joke by stuttering. These dinosaur names are hard. From Magnolia. Sorry.
Oh, they sure are. Kimberly, I stuttered. What are your thoughts on Charlie's story?
I've never heard of this being attributed to dinosaur eggs before. So that seems a little sus. But I've also seen curses attributed to mummies on ships and all kinds of other things. So maybe there is something to this. I want to hear it a little bit more.
All right. Very nice, very nice. We have another comment from Darren. I've been to a Mongolian barbecue that had an egg that looked like that it was from the 17th century.
Ew.
So Darren's on my side.
Yeah,
Okay.
Darren is on your side. Also, I'm concerned for Darren's health. Should maybe go get that checked out.
Yeah.
Make sure he's okay.
Don't
There
eat
must
the
be a reason
eggs.
he's not here today, so
Yep.
maybe it was that. All right. If you look at our round tracker 9000, we are full for round number 1. What does that mean, Adam?
That can only mean one thing. We are going straight into round number 2. Here we are, Adri. We are in round number 2.
We sure are. So what that means for our historians is they're going to have 30 seconds
No.
less?
Nope.
15 seconds less?
Wait. Oh, you're doing math? I have to do math?
No.
We're
They
going
have
from
60 seconds to tell their round 2 story. Let's just go with that.
Well, I like that better.
We're going to pick up where Alan left off with his Dinobots, Autobots,
Oh, yeah.
detailed nerd story.
Right.
You're going to have 60 seconds, Alan. When you see the timer, you have 60 seconds. Adam, on your go.
Here we go.
Well, Darren hasn't seen any dinosaurs in Antarctica, but I did mention this occurred 4 million years ago. And what happened was later on, Shockwave was fighting dinosaurs in Antarctica, and so the Autobot spaceship had dispatched the Autobots and used the designs of dinosaurs that were in the area to be the repair models for them to transform into, and that's where we got the designs from the Dinobots in the comic book. Now, what Darren doesn't know is that there's a part of Antarctica in Marvel Comics that still has dinosaurs in modern times.
Oh.
So flash forward to modern times, the Autobots detected signs of Cybertronian life, and they dispatched a probe, and then Shockwave was awoken by the probe, and there's a problem because Shockwave's awake in 1984.
Oh, no. Dramatic.
Wow.
That's dramatic.
That was a lot of information. I don't know how to process or do math. We've discovered that today. Kimberly, what say you?
Yeah, agreed. That's a lot of dino facts, and I'm trying to okay, that sounds good, but I don't know. My knowledge of Dinobots is non-existent. No reference point. It seems to track with the Shockwave and everything else. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's also comic book territory. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. So far, I'm still on board.
Still on board.
Okay.
All right, Charlie, what do you think?
I think
So are you saying Starscream is in the Savage Land?
No, so I said Shockwave.
Oh, Shockwave is in the Savage Land.
Yes.
Okay.
That
okay.
clears it all up. That
Yeah.
makes
So
perfect
is he gonna
sense.
meet the X-Men? I'm really confused by that.
It's a great question, and I will get to that in the next
Wow.
round.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Wow.
Oh wow, much
Adrian,
anticipation.
Adrian, I need a rare input on this round. I just want to be straight here. So what bit of history is Alan proposing as truth instead of bluff for his contribution to the episode? Is it that the writers told this story?
Yes, because the Transformers are a work of fiction. So if no fictional story exists on what I'm saying, then yes, that would be the bluff. But yes.
I wanted to make sure I understood.
If you're asking if Dinobots are real,
well, I want to believe, Alan. I want to believe.
I hear you. I'm referring to a comic book that was published in 1984.
Okay, see, that's the bit. That's the history bit. That's it, Andrea. I just wanted to clear that up.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I too was questioning.
Okay, very good. I questioned verbally. I'm a sassy man.
So the big bluff would be, no, I made up that whole storyline about the comic book. The origin is exactly what you saw in the cartoon.
Okay, well, there you
have it. Where they just found them in the side of a wall, and they're like, let's just design them off these bones. Go.
Preposterous.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got Alan's round 2 done. Mm-hmm. Kimberly is up next with her story about Dinosaurs, the TV show from TGIF, classic TV. Whenever you're ready, you're going to have 60 seconds to tell your round 2. Adam, can we get the bird bath sundial?
Bird bath boom. Let's do it. Here we go. Floor is yours.
Okay, so I think one of the most surprising episodes with this Candor's like Disney sanctioned episode about dinosaurs was an episode called What Sexual Harris Meant. Yes, this was an ABC show. Now in it, a female dinosaur named Monica, she's basically harassed by her coworker named Al Harris. And it goes as far as to go into trial as to define what Harris meant is. And Monica is continually questioned about what she wore, how she was a troublemaker, and Harris on it as a good guy at one point. And they ask her, well, why didn't you go out with him? Now, one of the jurors named Mason Dixon. So I don't know, this seems pretty pointed. And the thing that's pretty cool about it, particularly other than just bringing up harassment, is this was 2 months after the Clarence Thomas Anita Hill hearings. So parallels there down to the specifics of what defines harassment. And they went there on Disney.
Wow.
Wow, this is
so
holy smokes.
I'm loving this. I'm questioning everything about my childhood now because none of that is being recalled. But I'm really excited to hear that they were pushing the limits back then. That's awesome. Charlie, let's go to you. Do you have any comments on Kimberly's round 2 story?
Well, I mean, by that, it sounds like Disney went woke 30 years ago instead of just like 2 days ago when everybody says they did. Huh. So that's interesting. I was a little bit older, and so I think I remember there being like this weird not political, but like a satire, I guess is technically what it is. Because there's a message, and you're just like, wow, this is a lot more intense than DJ, dating some dude. So it was TGIF got weird.
It did. Alan, what do you say about Kimberly's round 2?
I recall a lot of this stuff. That's I loved the character Sexual Harris. He was awesome.
Wait,
I love that they called him Harris, like harassment. I love it when they say that.
Well, in the court, that was what they were getting to the bottom of. They wanted to know what Sexual Harris meant. Which is awesome.
Wow, jeez, that's deep, man.
Wordplay.
I hope I can. Where can I stream that? We'll talk about that later. Okay, I kind of want to see this now.
I'm assuming Disney Plus.
I would assume, yeah.
That would be my guess.
Yep. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, so round 2 is almost done. We have one more spot left for Charlie. Charlie, the Hatstorian, will you come to the center? We're going to pick up on your Blue Egg Mongolia story. You have 60 seconds for this round. Adam, whenever you're ready, let's get that boom.
Wow, this was going a lot faster than I thought. Okay, so that Russian prince loaned it to a woman who was then murdered by her sweetheart. There was once a Simon Menchardes who sold it to a Turkish sultan who was thrown off a precipice along with his wife and child. A Sultan Hamid gave it to Abu Sabir to study, but later Sabir was imprisoned and tortured. I'll just keep skipping. Tavernier, who was a man who took the egg to Paris, but then was torn apart by a pack of wild dogs in Constantinople. Owner William Falls died a ruined man, and then his son Hendrik stole the egg from him, but later committed suicide. And some years later, Francis Dulayer bought it and died in misery and want. But then, much later, it ended up in the Smithsonian.
Wow. That is wild. Are we talking about one singular egg that has caused all of that chaos?
Fossilized egg. Yeah. It's been around for a while. So yeah.
Collecting those curse juices.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna touch on that at the end here, but yeah.
Okay, Alan, what's on your mind?
No, my dad used to live in Washington D.C. and we visited the Smithsonian most every summer. And I think I remember this display. They kind of had it decked out kind of like an Indiana Jones style. Maybe it was because the egg looks kind of like the Temple of Doom egg, I think. Oh. They kind of did an homage to that.
That idol, the idol thing.
It's well, not the idol, from Raiders of the Lost Ark, but the thing that...
the jewel from Temple of...
Yeah, it was like egg-shaped, so I think they were kind of playing that up. I don't know.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Good observation.
Yeah, I should say.
Kimberly, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a wild journey of an artifact, but it's just so weird and specific that I'm wondering. That seems to have some of the weirdest things are the most accurate. So you're saying about the dispel, and that very well seems like that could have been at the Smithsonian. So I'm having a real hard time because I think that's also sounds about right to me.
All right. Well, we've got sounds about right, and sounds about right, which makes it a great History Bluff show. Darren wants to know, is precipice the secret word? Well, we can't say, Darren, otherwise it wouldn't be a secret anymore, would it?
Right. That's not how secret words work, Darren.
No. And if it were the secret word, we'd all be screaming right now.
That's true. Where's Corky?
Well, you know what we are on the precipice of.
Oh.
What? Oh my goodness.
Where's that tracker?
It's right
Where's
there.
the round tracker? We're on the precipice of the third round.
We sure are. Right. All the dots are full, and that means it's time to go to our final round, number 3.
Round number 3, where our historians get 45 seconds to tell the last bit of their stories. And then at the end of it, we're going to take accusations.
That's right. Final deliberations, as it were.
Final deliberations, and a judgment will be given at the end. Mm-hmm. Alan, you are up first, sir. Come into the center and finish your story on Dinobots. You have 45 seconds. When you hear the boom, you may go.
So Charlie's right in that the X-Men are related to the Savage Land. The first appearance of the Savage Land, where there were dinosaurs in modern day times, that first appearance of that was in X-Men number 10. And Marvel Comics decided this would be a great opportunity to incorporate some of our mythology into the Transformers and justify why there are Dinobot Transformers. So we will use the Savage Land in our story. So what happened was the Dinobots, millions of years ago, fought Shockwave. Shockwave lured them into a tar pit where the Dinobots were preserved in tar, but the Dinobots also knocked a mountainside over Shockwave where he was buried until the Autobots in modern times awoken him with their probe, and then Shockwave woke up and then he blew up all the Autobots in the end of issue 4.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad that I've got the whole history of Dinobots up here now. Kimberly, we got it. Kimberly, what do you think about Alan's last round?
Oh, Charlie, so much detail. I'm randomly stuck with yours. No points of reference with yours either. Something makes me think now, and I don't know what it is, that there's something about your description of how it differs that isn't how it differs, or that it doesn't differ. at all. So right now, I'm actually leaning toward you. I think being the bluff, and I don't know if there's a tell, but that's just there's so much. I don't know, but I think I'm leaning toward you being the bluff.
All right, we have almost
okay.
one accusation. Charlie, your thoughts on Alan's final round?
I'm wondering if this is like a Disney Star Wars thing where if somebody else is now publishing it, does that mean none of those stories make any sense? Because I think IDW publishes Transformers now. So does that mean that like all of that past history just doesn't exist anymore? And so therefore are you lying because it's a past history that doesn't exist anymore?
I'm referring to a comic book that was published in 1984. Whether or not someone else took over the continuity and rewrote it is negligible. I'm just saying this comic book came out in 1984.
Okay.
Do you believe the story that I'm preaching here?
So was it written, or was this a fever dream Alan wishes to come to life?
Exactly.
Gotcha. It looks like we do have a comment from the internet. I think this came in while Kimberly was casting doubt on Alan's story. Clever girl.
Laura Ashley Ross, clever girl.
That's right. So
She
Kimberly,
just spent 30 minutes Googling Jurassic Park quotes and then picked her favorite one, Clever Girl, which is also my favorite quote
It's
from
like
Jurassic
the best
Park. So
quote.
we'll take
It's a
it.
very
Frankly.
good quote.
It's the best.
Laura finds a way.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Yes. Can't argue with
Dinosaurs. Yes.
that. Can't argue with that.
Faster, faster. We
must
must
go
go
faster.
faster.
All right,
Must
away
go
from Alan's
faster.
Dinobot. There we go. All right,
And
let's
on
get it.
to Dinosaurs. The cartoon. No, it wasn't a cartoon. It was animated.
No, it
Nope.
wasn't.
Nope.
Nope,
That
it was
the
neither of
weird
those.
one.
Keep
I'm going to
Puppeteers.
Puppeteers. I'm going to
right.
be quiet. Kimberly, you have 60 seconds.
For
when you hear the one.
45.
You have 45 seconds. I'm going to resign as host.
More. That's
Your 45 seconds begins right now.
cool. All right, so that wasn't the only like topical thing they were talking about in the 90s. That's super now. They also had an episode called I Never Ate My Father, which was an allusion to the son coming out to his unsuspecting father as a herbivore. There was Green Card about the government blaming four-legged dinosaurs for their economic issues and building a wall to keep them out. There was an episode called where the blue-skinned dinosaurs had their own style of music that was appropriated by a music company. And the series is an episode where they all died as a result of nuclear winter and environmental destruction because they all worked for an oil company. And this is the Hensons. So it really shouldn't be that much of a surprise, but it kind of was because it was affiliated with Disney.
Wow.
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 That is
A lot.
That's amazing. I need to go back and watch this show if this is true.
They
If
just
this
need
is
to
true.
remake it and just replay it because everything is still the same 30 years from later.
That is sad, isn't it? Okay.
Sad, very
And not just
Yeah.
in like a timely way, but in a very specific way. So
Ugh.
Hmm.
Charlie, history
Well,
repeats itself. What
Yes,
do you
it
think?
does. I don't think Adam wants to rewatch the series because that last episode I think was like a two-parter, and it's the most depressing thing I've seen on television.
No, they don't all live happily ever after?
No, and it's disturbing that played on like 9 o'clock television for families in the 90s. Like yeah, it's more depressing like than the end of MASH.
Dinosaurs? Really? Oh, wow. Wait. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. That's
I'm sorry, what?
tight competition.
Yeah,
well,
you
the planet didn't
don't
get wiped
Adrian,
out.
MASH was a TV show.
yeah. No, not the game you used to play in high school where you found out that you were going
Yeah.
to be living in.
I was going to say MASH.
But that was depressing when I did it too. So it all went okay.
Charlie had a rough childhood. That's what we're saying.
Oh, I'm always in a shack.
Don't eat you, dude.
Adam, can we see the round tracker 9,000? Because I'm lost where we're
Yeah,
at.
sure. It looks like
Oh.
we have one more.
We
So,
sure do, and that must be Charlie.
Indeed, I think you're right.
Charlie, we are dying to know how the story of your blue egg of Mongolia hunting story wraps up. When you hear the boom, you're going to have 45 seconds. And Adam, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, throughout the years, there's also been stories like the stories all over the place, including that the egg was the one of the reasons for the downfall and the deaths of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, as well as Catherine the Great. But those are sort of unfounded things. A lot of people think that maybe at the turn of the century, they wanted to build this like lore around the egg. But what is true is that the egg exists and it's in the Smithsonian. I've seen it. It's part of the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, and it's the central part of one of their fossil exhibits. And weirdly, since the Smithsonian's gotten it, they've only gotten better and better, more people seeing it. So, no bad luck for the Smithsonian.
Wow. So that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up round 3. I would like to kind of get your reactions to Charlie, and also, if you're ready to make an accusation, feel free. Now, Charlie told a story about an egg that we know is true and exists at the Smithsonian, but was the rest of his story true? Alan, what do you think?
Well, I don't know all the details of Charlie's story, whether or not it's true. I don't think this is voting time, right? We're just kind of commenting.
If you feel like voting, let's do it. If not, then we'll come back around.
I'm going to withhold my vote till it's voting time.
Okay.
But yeah, so far I'm on the fence. I'm not sure.
On the fence.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Kimberly, what are your thoughts on Charlie's round 3?
The only thing about this curse, although curses are wonky anyway, is so it curses everyone else, but it's cool in this one home where it does pretty well. Doesn't really seem like much of a curse. So that's where I'm a little.
Well, to be clear, my story is there.
It could have been a specific curse. I don't know.
Yeah, to be clear, my story is that there is a legend of a curse around this item, not that curses exist.
Yeah.
Okay. But
just like the dinosaur show wasn't an actual historically factual story.
What?
Just like the Dinobots are from a comic book or cartoon.
I know, but like in a world where curses do exist, it's still oddly cursed to just go to other people, but like, cool.
Curses exist.
That's cool. It's
all
2024.
Right.
I've seen some. I believe.
Yeah, I am with you, Kimberly, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, y'all. That wraps up round 3. We haven't had any firm accusations yet, but I wanted to invite our audience to send in who they think is the bluff this week.
And while
Adam, do you have any?
I was going to say, while the audience is doing that, let's go around one more time and see if we can have each of the historians give their final thoughts as to who they think the bluff is.
Absolutely. Alan, let's start with you.
Oh, yes. Now I get to make a decision.
Yeah, it's time. It's vote time.
There was factually accurate stuff that I heard in Kim's story, but I haven't seen every episode of Dinosaurs. I don't know how ahead of the curve they are on the build that wall chant, so I'm actually going to throw... No. You know what? I'm going to vote Charlie. Charlie's the bluff.
Oh, wow. Okay. Alan has voted Charlie. Kimberly, earlier you had kind of a light kind of hint that you were going to vote for Alan. Are you still there? Have you shifted position? Where are you at?
I think Charlie's is pretty fantastic, and it was mostly just kind of a list. But with the Transformers Dinobots story, kept going back to 1984, and you seem to be leaning pretty heavily on that one fact. And there's something I'm going to call the bluff on Alan. Something about Alan. I think there's details in that story.
All right, excellent. We have one final vote to get through. Charlie, who's it going to be? Is it Dinobots or Dinosaurs?
Well, like I said, I watched Dinosaurs, and they were pretty crazy with that show. And Alan seems to have a real big trouble picking between the two of us, which makes me think he's the bluff, and so he's just trying to figure out which of the two of us he wants to blame. So I'm going with Alan.
I like
and
that.
Maybe the cover date says 1984, but it really came out 3 months earlier in 1983 or something weird like that.
Yeah. Yep. I like that strategy for sure. So what we have is we have 2 votes for Alan, 1 vote for Charlie, 0 votes for Kimberly.
Wow.
Now, I don't know who the bluff is, and I have to go bye-bye right now. But if there's anybody online that voted, Adam, take it away.
We don't have any submissions from online, but if Kimberly was the bluff, she gets away scot-free and wins.
That's right.
So let's find out who it is. Adri, go ahead and step off of our virtual stage. And I have the secret knowledge of who the bluff is. And I'm going to reveal now for this episode about dinosaurs. Was your bluff Alan? Was your bluff Kimberly? Or was your bluff Charlie? Hold your breaths. We're about to find out that the bluff, it was Charlie. You almost got away with it scot-free, but I'm afraid Alan sniffed you out. And he guessed that you were the bluff. Adri, come on back to the stage. There you have it. It looks like Alan is the winner of this episode of History Bluffs.
Which is really interesting because apparently Alan Whitten saw this thing I made up. So
I thought that was really interesting too.
I didn't know if that part was like accurate.
Like
This is why testimony can't be taken at face value
right.
because
Yeah, right.
I
people
realized
imagine
that
things.
I was endorsing so much of Kim's stuff. I was like, I better start endorsing Charlie, or else everyone's going to vote for Charlie.
I want to believe that Alan was playing 4-dimensional chess and he threw Kimberly off the trail by confirming part of Charlie's when he saved the bluff accusation for himself. This is amazing. Well played,
Thank
Alan.
you. Thank
Well
you.
played, I gotta say. That was
Very good
I remember
show.
every one of these episodes Kim's talking about, and I'm totally giving more details about them.
It's great.
it was nuts.
There is
It was so nuts.
So much.
That's why.
All that it is on Disney Plus. I
Okay.
don't think anything has been like banned from Disney Plus, but all of this stuff that's the harassment, all of that is you can find it.
That's amazing.
I went on a deep
So
dive
relevant.
and it was like, wow, 1991.
And that last episode, not only was it like they created something that like then fed, and so they were like overgrown by vines, and then they got and so then they decided to use a whole bunch of pesticide to kill all the vines, but then the pesticide killed everything, and then they basically just wasted away in this like salted earth where they just died out of hunger and stuff or something like that.
But on a lighter note,
Yeah,
they
they just
parodied
once-
the Hair Club for Men, where they were growing horns.
I'm glad they threw some
That was
comedy
less
in there
depressing. Yeah.
for prime time. Dinosaurs,
Yeah.
the TV show, folks. Look it up. Oh, wow.
What a terrible way to start the weekend in the 90s.
tell you
Watching
what.
dinosaurs and
Yeah,
getting
right?
depressed.
Come on, kids. We'll have a great time.
Well, that wraps up our show for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. To our historians, thank you so much. And again, on Friday, we have a live show at the Breakthrough Theater in Winter Park. Starts at 7:30. You can find the details on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, all the things. We'll see you there, and we'll see you next week.
All right, you heard her. Tune in next week for a stream show or come see us live this Friday in Winter Park, Florida. Either way, we'll see you again soon.